One of the things that I was one of the things that I was asked about, and I think it's probably a pretty good idea, is when we talk about debt-free legacy, there's some opportunity for clarification when it comes to how the payments work and the process works and all of that other stuff. to to get into the weeds with that, because there's all kinds of different things we can get in trouble if we're not careful. And I want to make sure that we understand that. Like I was telling Misha and Teresa a little bit earlier, I had an agent who actually came down to Sarasota to the boot camp and then brought an appointment to me. I sold the appointment. The first payment was about ready to come out. And the agent told the person, well, yeah, you don't worry about paying any of your bills. Lafayette will pay your credit card bill. And I'm like, okay, that we need to go over this again. So that being said, what we're going to do is, and it wasn't Sherry. You're right, Sherry. I can see you. I can see your read your lips. She's like, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. Um, so we're going to spend a little bit of time just going over the concept of it, because honestly, it's a game-changing concept. So, in fact, I'm going to pull up what I just did for the client that we just had after the last one that I was on with Tracy Hanna. She had a couple of clients, and I want to share this one out. So basically, let's see, this one and this one. This is a chiropractor couple. He's 35, she's 29, just had a baby, live in Nevada, getting ready to move back to um, Arizona next year. They both have a total combined about 525,000 in student debt. And so that part is, David, you just got a lot uglier, man. Just with that backdrop, I'm just gonna say right now, and that's all I have to say about that. So anyway, sorry, he's on
It's
mute.
so
That's
easy
good.
to
I'm
trigger
not gonna.
you. You're just
Stop.
like a
Stop right now.
squirrel. Squirrel.
Exactly. So I want to go over it, because what they were under the impression of was that, oh, no, 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 we're paying this company, and then in 25 years the debt goes away. And then come to find out that they just got a notice from this company that, yep, um, effective August 1st, they have to pay the debt back. Like that other company's not in business anymore. So it was kind of one of those scam things, right? Why is everyone looking to the left? David is, Helen is, Sherry is, Trace. Oh, is like something to the left that you guys aren't seeing?
Looking at another screen.
Oh, okay. I was just kind of wondering, like, wait a minute, is someone is like, what's going on here? So I want to go over this. This is what I'm going to do. I didn't put their student loan payments in. It will work the same way, but I wanted just to kind of show you how this is going to work here. You guys ready? Because, and I'm going to ask you a lot of questions about this, because I want to make sure everyone's standing. So we're going to go through here, starting at the beginning, and then when we get to the end, we're going to stop. And sometimes people get very you get in the weeds when explaining this stuff, and I recommend we keep it as simple as possible. But let's go to this out of the way. Forget it. We'll just go down here. You guys can see this. All right, perfect. All right. The first thing that we want to talk about here is, this is how much they could save in interest, and this is how fast they can be out of debt. Now, with these folks, they only had $51,000 because they don't have a home yet. They're living with mom and dad to save up for a house and start their own chiropractic practice. He is working for someone else right now as a 1099 contractor, and she is not working because they just had a baby girl here a couple of months ago. Okay. He also has $50,000 in net. He has 80,000, but about 50,000 he'll be able to take out of his old dormant 401k, and we're going to do a strategic rollout into his bank so that he can pay this stuff off pretty quickly. All right, so I want to show you how this looks, and this is the biggest thing. Misha, I think your question was a lot of agents are asking this, so we want to go over. There are 4 steps to this. The first step is we identify the inefficient payment strategies. And what that means is, are they paying extra on anything, or is their money that they're putting into savings that is not working as efficiently? Okay, so we've talked about that. If you put money in a savings account, you're losing money. You're not going to grow wealth. If you overpay to credit card companies or to your creditors, most likely they will be inefficient as well. So that's the first thing we identify. Inefficient payment strategies also mean putting money into savings accounts and other places where you shouldn't. Okay. The second thing, make minimum payments to all debts, which means that you need to make minimum payments. Guess what I'm going to say next? To all of your debts. Lafayette Life does not pay them for you. Your credit card companies, they need to make minimum payments on everything. Do not overpay. Minimum payments. Okay. That's about the easiest one we can get there. The third thing is the major component is with this custom engineered participating whole life policy, we are going to be able to build up cash value way faster within this vehicle than we would a savings account or paying off debt and then throwing it into something else. All right, so as we fund the insurance policy each month, we build up cash value along the way. And then once we build up the cash value, we are going to, instead of keeping a loan with the credit card company, we're going to take out a loan from the insurance company at 7%. And we are going to pay off the debt and then redirect the money we were paying to our debt back to us to pay off the loan. There is going to come a time, by the way, and if you notice this right here, I think it says, yeah, there are 2 things here. This is where the inefficient dollars are, which we found. And for these guys here, it was $1,500. Actually, it was 2,000. I don't know why I'm at 1,500. Please hold. I got to go to 2,000 here and get this one. I'm doing the wrong one. Sorry. David, good to see you, by the way, bud. I'm just giving you a hard time with the Lions. I don't like them still, but good to see you. Okay, so here's this 50,000 that he's got here. There's the 2,000 that we're going to be putting into this because they said we can do 2,000 a month to get out of debt, probably a little more. Okay, so that's the number right there for both of those. Now, this is how long it was going to take them based on their current payment structure. Okay. This is now how we will pay it off here. And it will show exactly. And this is where I want you guys to see this with the software that we have. And this would be starting on August 1st. Once we take his first payment and move the $50,000 over, we'll be able on 9/1, we'll be able to take $304 and pay off this entire balance. Well, this says 304, this says 596. How does that work? It's already made the calculation because we've got 2 months of this. He's only going to have 304. This does all the calculation for us. Okay. Will tell us now, once this is done, how much was he paying? 2,000 a month, contributing rather to his debt-free life bank. Then once this is paid off, do you see this redirected payment? He needs to now pay this to him, not to the creditors. So this isn't money going into a savings account or into his pocket. This is going back to Lafayette Life Insurance Company. And then again, he's got four all at once because he put in a $50,000 front load. So if you look, Helen will be right with you. So you look at 298. So basically, right here, after 1 month, he's going to have 2,000 a month plus the next month, he's also going to add 591 bucks. So now his contribution is 2591. We're redirecting the loan money instead of being paid to the company for the tires, the company for the repair, the company for the loan, the medical. We're not paying them anymore. We're paying him back. Helen.
Okay, quick question. With knowing that these take from a month and a half to 2 months, and we send them that action plan once we complete it. So do we go back once well, I have been going back, but my question is that the way it's supposed to be done? Go back and change the date because on the one that they have, because it's taking so long, sometimes 1, 2 months, majority of the times, the ones that's been done been like 2 months. So
Yep.
do you go back in, change it, and then send them out another one? Is that
Yeah,
correct?
that's what I would do. So you can do it kind of one of two ways. What I like to do is either if I just do something based on, so let's say, Helen, I'm meeting with a client, today's the 23rd of July. I would put today's date, 23rd of July, and then, you'd say a month from now, a month from now, 1 month from now, or whatever it is, and then it will have those times in. Then and I would tell them, once this is approved and funded, and then we go, then I will follow back up with a new payment uh, sheet for you.
Okay.
Because this is going to, and you're absolutely right. Because, for example, these guys here, this is if this was done August 1st. I showed this to him July 7th was the first time I did this. Okay. The other thing you could do is you could say, look, I have this going live August 1st. So you guys would need to make sure you have a check written out for that and be fully underwritten by that time, which is probably going to take about 3 weeks. So we want to sign this by the 7th of July. You can use that as your own, kind of leverage for closing or whatever else. But yes, absolutely. What I'm learning is that there is an element to babysitting here, maybe for lack of a better word. There's an element to say, okay, because you got to walk them through the first one. How do I get a loan? How do I what do I do for that? How do I go in and get my username and password and all my credentials for all of that? There's an element to that we need to be able to handle that with them, folks. I will tell you this: you get this thing working right, people will send you referral after referral after referral after referral. It just makes things so much easier. So right here, they have 591 plus their original $2,000 contribution. That is not so 591 goes to pay the loans back, and the 2,000 is going into the policy. Okay, we have two things happening. Then on the second month, there will be $28,720. That will get paid off, and then you'll realize now we're going to take that entire $1,122 and he is going to redirect that back to his policy. So now his total is going to be $3,112.75 a month. 1,100 goes to policy loan payback until that's paid off. And then the 2,000 contribution goes to the policy, building his bank. Okay, does everyone understand this so far? We good with this? Okay. So now this also, which I love this also says, look, not only this, but in 20 years, you'll have 1,000,000. In 30, you'll have 1.9, and then 3.2 and 40. This is what I personally like to do. Instead of telling so this is kind of what you would do. If you paid all this off in whatever this was, 8 years and 4 months, and you paid all of this off, how much would you have in your bank in 8 years and 5 months? How much would you have in your bank? Literally zero. Like if you did it the old-fashioned way, you would now be able to start saving $1,112, but you would have nothing in there. Well, if he was going to start saving then over a 20-year period of time, we already lost 8.5 months, so he would have now 11 and a half, 8.5 years. We already have 11 and a half years left. How much would he save at $1,112 a month? And this is what you want to show them, because this is the part that's staggering, where compound interest comes into play. Okay, so if you were to pull up your calculator and say 11.5, well, actually, now we're going to do this. What's 11? It's 121 plus 6, 127 months. Okay, would we all agree that 11 and a half years is 127 months? Maybe it's going to work. 127 months. And he's doing $1,112.75. How much money would he have in a savings account after 20 years? Oh, we are quiet, kids. Somebody.
141,319.
There we go. $141,319. So in 20 years, that's what he would have. Would we all agree with that? Okay. Well, let's say, hey, I'm saving $2,000 a month. So what if we did 2,000 a month for 127? What does that come out to?
254.
254 plus 141 is just less than 400, right?
Yep.
Okay. So if we were doing it his way, and we put every dollar had a name and had a thing to do, he would have just under 500,000. Right? Now, let's look. So in 20 years, he'd have under 500,000, or in 20 years with us, he'd have 1,000,000 tax-free.
Let me just make sure the numbers are right. 254 and then 141 you wanted, right?
Yep.
That's 395.
There you go. Okay, so 400, almost 400. So instead of like, that's 2.5 times more with this. You guys see this? I mean, you see how powerful this is? And that's what I like to do. They're like, well, why would I do that? Why can't I just pay it off myself? Sure, let's go ahead and run those numbers and see what it looks like. If you were to take $1,112 and then you were to take 2,000, put 2,000 in the bank and just save it, and then you would take the $1,112 and you would get out of debt in 8 years, and then for the next 11 and a half years, you would put that in the bank, you'd have about $400,000. Or you can do it this way and you could have $1,000,000 of tax-free income. This guy was 35. When do you want to retire, Luke? 65. Well, in 30 years, this is what this looks like for you, 1.9 million. This becomes a no-brainer then at this point. So we use it to pay off early, and then we use it to build wealth. Now, this is funny. The guy today actually looked at this and said, so this also gives you the date that we want to make sure, Helen, that we're doing right? So we'll have to update that and give that to them. But I love this part here. Since we're using a whole life policy, there will be a point where no more money can go into the policy, and we will need to redirect the additional contributions to another savings vehicle. So the guy looked at that and said, so what does that mean? And I said, well, once you start having too much wealth, we're going to need to open up different types of policies that do similar things but allow you to put more money in. And he said, oh, well, can I do that in addition? Like now? And he literally just sold himself and his wife an IUL when that wasn't even on the table, just because he read this part right here. He said, well, at least let me do $250 a month now, right? She can do the same thing. So, because why is this here? I want to make sure we understand that. Why does it say additional contributions? Like because of whole life, there's gonna be a point when we can't put any more money into the policy. Why is it saying that?
To avoid a MEC?
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Absolutely. Because keep in mind, whoa, wait a minute, Sherry. She's batting 100, man. Nice. Look, she's been back there studying. You will mech out this policy. Why? Because we've built it for $2,000 a month. Well, how much are we redirecting? We're redirecting all of the debt back to it. Well, once that loan's paid off, then that just counts as contribution towards the whole policy. It will eventually mech. So you won't be able to do this. In fact, if you look, your projected contribution assessment date is February of 30. So this is where you just, it's a beautiful reason to stay in front of them. So anyway, that is what so the contribution assessment date is 2/1. That's when all the loans will be paid off from the loan payback. And then after that, it will count towards the MEC. So Misha, I know that you had said there's a lot of different people that kind of have that, like what the heck's going on? What do I do? How does it look? Is that helpful? I wanted to make sure that we went step by step with that and we're able to show what that looks like. Good. Okay. Well, I want to turn this over to you folks. What else are we needing some help on where I can get into this? Because the bottom line is I want to start doing these debt-free life applications. I mean, Helen, I know you've written a couple. Teresa, you've written one, going on maybe a couple. I really want to start pushing these things out. We should be writing about 1 to 2 of these each a month, I would hope. What do you have, Helen?
I want your opinion. I want you to let me know if what I have been doing has been okay.
There's
This
no better
week,
thing to do than to ask after you did it, right?
but I've been having great success with it. I've done ran 3 apartments this week. So far, I have 2 more. All of them are going for it. I don't have to go back and show them the numbers once they give me their form. So what I did, I use one, I don't show the person's name when I am going over it with them, just like you did on Jacoya's webinar, where you showed the example. So I show them that. And I also show, a policy, no names or anything is shown. And they see the concept better than saying, wait, all right, let me think about it. Or I'm constantly having to ask for the form. So it gets them excited and they're like, I will get that form back to you. I've already had some that booked their second appointment for me to show them their numbers. So once I showed that to them, I say, okay, so now are you ready for me to show you your numbers?
Mm.
They get it. And remember we met with Chandra Willis. with her and Desmond. So I met with Chandra again because I did her numbers. She was excited. Desmond wasn't available, but she said if I would have saw this before, we would have been finished. So is that okay to do? Like a lot of people, when they see the visual, instead
Mhm.
of all of that is crammed in their head and they, thinking about it before you actually show the numbers, I think that's why it was taking me longer to get those forms back because they were
Mm.
still having questions. They were still like,
Yeah, yeah,
So what you think?
absolutely. No, I think that the bottom line is whatever you can do to expedite and to get the point across the best, I would say go with that. For me, the reason why I had to do here's the video, and then if you want to see your information, fill out the form and send it in, was just because I was doing 5 to 6 of these a day. I literally, and it was just all the same thing, the same thing, the same thing. Here's the, and then I'm like, okay, then I can just shoot one video, let them see that, and save all that time. That's why I went with that part. But I can tell you right now, there will be a time, most likely, Helen, where you're like, okay, this, I need to stop spending so much time just on the education part of it. But your time hasn't come there. So I would say, as long as you can do that, I would do it. I absolutely
I would
would do it.
say Tuesday, yeah, no, not Tuesday. Monday, I was tired.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of like drained because I was showing IULs and I was showing that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was drained, but it was a success because, they liked what they were seeing. So now
Mm-hmm.
I am, writing some things up, but I can understand what you're saying. So if I do, I was kind of tired then doing it because I'm like, I've been on the computer all freaking day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Absolutely. 100%. 100%. No, that's a good question. All right, who else has something they want to see or know? Don't be shy. Everyone's looking to the left except Trace is looking to the right. And I'm looking. Oh, Carrie's looking straight. That's good. I don't even know where Jason's.
So
looking.
Scott, got any other strategies if they're not overpaying bills right now? This seems to only work with over bill payers. Is there any other places for us to grab money beyond overpaid bills? What does that look like?
Yeah, so we talked about it a little bit earlier. Some people will say, I don't. When you look at their budget, the first thing I do is what's the overpayment? Number two, what's your discretionary income? That's kind of the second thing I always look at. When you start going through, and some people will say, well, my tithe, my savings, that is a bill, like in their minds. So I have no discretionary income because all my money is spoken for. That's when I would say, well, let's take a look at where your money is going to see if it's working the best for you. Right? Do we add the step before or after, whatever, to see what's working for you? It could be in 401k overpayment. It could be in just I save $200 a month. It could be whatever else. But then the question is discretionary income. If a person does not make overpayments, they can't get out of debt necessarily faster with us because there's nothing to contribute to the policy. If you're not making overpayments and you have zero money, then that's when I kind of throw the insurance part out of the window and say that we need to get you out of debt. And right now, this is a behavioral problem, and I can't help a behavioral problem. So unless you're going to, if it's not bolted to the floor, you're going to sell it in a yard sale on Facebook Marketplace. You're not going to go inside of a restaurant unless you're washing dishes or waiting tables as a side hustle. You're not eating steak like Dave Ramsey says, beans and rice and beans. Like that's what you're doing. You have a behavioral issue, David. That it's just not going to work. And it's kind of like the what's the book I read? Whatever selling, some kind of selling where it's like they have to have money. If they don't have money, move on. Like I'm going to give you all of my stuff up front, and this is what I want. This is what I do. Instead of walking down the road for 2 months and then losing the sale, I'm going to tell you right up front. It's going to cost this. It's going to be this. Or do we have a basis to move forward? If not, I'm going to find out and be in and out in 5 minutes instead of wasting 6 months. If they have no money, I'd move on. you can't help, you really can't help someone grow their wealth if 100% of their wealth is spoken for. It's time for them to get another job, another side hustle, because it's not sustainable, right? It's whatever they're doing is not sustainable. And then they're going to wind up bankrupt, homeless, or something. Good question. Very good question.
Can
Sherry?
I add something?
Yeah, you can add whatever you want.
Okay, something that I have been doing with falling into what we fell into before. So now I am adding that in exactly, on the first call when I'm talking to them. I let them know, even though it will show that you have overpayments, and this is the amount that we can redirect. It may show 1,500, it may show 2,000, but once I show you your numbers, or if it's somebody that I have shown their numbers, is this something that you can pay? 1,500, $2,000, that's a lot, but do know this is going to come out of your account every single month. So when
Mhm.
something breaks, are you still going to be able to pay this? Now we can bring it down, even though your numbers are saying you have 2 grand. Is this something you can pay? We can bring it down. So I make sure that they know that now.
Well, we learned that, didn't we?
We
We
learned it
learned
the
that with
hard way.
with, with a couple people, just because you said, look, you're
Yeah.
already paying this, but then now they're like, oh, wait a minute, $3,000, that's an awful lot. I had some money in my account, so I just went out to Applebee's a bunch and this, that, or whatever, and you can't do that. So no, we kind of learn that stuff the hard way when we do it. But um yeah, good stuff. Okay. What else, guys? Misha's getting tired. We need to, I don't want to have him fall asleep on me here. What else we got?
Hey, Scott.
What are the questions? Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So I have a situation of a friend of mine. She's 75 years old. She is great financially. She's wanting to take care of her nephew who is living with her. Eventually, he will inherit the condo she just bought. She would like to set up an account for him so that he has income.
Hmm.
They have a family trust. I don't know where to take her with that. What?
So if I was going to say, if she has a trust, the only way she can provide insurance for the nephew is through the trust. There is no insurable interest from a nephew to an aunt. So you have to run it through the trust.
Could she set up a separate trust for him in that situation specifically?
Sure, you
Okay.
could.
And then what would I be directing her to do? Would it be an IUL?
Probably.
Okay.
And it depends on how much money she would want him to have, when she would want him to have it. And I would probably schedule a few minutes with David to have that conversation, just because David handles all of my trust stuff now, whether he knew that or
Oh,
not.
the trust part of it.
He
Yeah.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the IUL part of it, she's gonna be here on Friday, staying with me for the weekend. And I
The
just,
other thing you could do, Sherry, just throwing this out, find younger friends. That
I know,
is also another option. I'm just saying, you got them 65, 70, 75, 80, I'm like, well, hey, just find a 30-year-old family and just befriend
yeah,
them.
I'm working on it, trust me.
That's funny.
I just shared a
Um,
video with our trust lawyer partner as well in the chat. I just posted a new video with Larry Parman. Talks about business trusts and family trusts. So if you're talking to people that own businesses, it's a good video to share as well.
yeah, fantastic. Fantastic. Actually, David, I was having lunch yesterday with the guy that I sold my cybersecurity company to. And I was talking to him about, man, I wish I had known about insurance and stuff before I wound up um, selling the company, whatever else. And he was saying, he goes, yeah, I've been reading that the thing to do is to have a business trust. And then that way, with the business trust, you can move this stuff into insurance and other things without having the cost or this or that. So that's a whole thing that we really haven't even explored yet, that I'm looking forward to pushing that out. Um, I'm looking forward to pushing that out to everyone, because we are folks going to be able to have the ability to do trusts for people through either guided software or through relationships with our trust lawyers that we have. And it's going to be absolutely fantastic.
And get paid for it, right? Yeah. Don't leave
Yeah,
out the best
absolutely.
part. Get paid
Absolutely.
for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So there is, and I'll tell you this, you really
Wills
need to,
and trust.
these links that David's put up there, grab those, copy them, and watch them. It's a little dry, but I'm telling you right now, it is going to change your outlook and the tax consequences of businesses. It is absolutely unbelievable what this saves millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars every year to people who understand it. And we're going to be able to start offering this both with a white label service, and then for those who are quite in depth, we'll be able to send the referral
And
over.
agents first, right? Agents get a crack at this too. So we'll be able to work directly with all the agents to set up their own family trusts and get them squared away. Make
Yeah.
sure it's clear to them on how it's going to benefit them. Because I'll tell you, telling that personal story, there's no substitute. And being able to say, here's how it affected me and my family, and here's why we did it, and why I think you should.
Right. Teresa wants to get her money back from her other trust attorney so she can redo it with us. Here.
Scott, I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
I have someone who is 70 years old. He has 85,000 in debt,
Mhm.
and not including the mortgage, but in consumer debt. And he has in savings and retirement accounts and other accounts, he has about $90,000. His total monthly payment is $6,200. And he's 70 years old. He did have a heart attack, or he had a stroke a few years ago. What would be the best solution for him?
Well, the first question I would ask is what's his monthly discretionary income? How much of that 95,000 does he need to pull out of to break even every month?
Let me see if he sent it to me, because he sent me his financial analysis form.
Mm-hmm.
And he only has a Kansas City Life insurance. He said it was about $50,000 that he got many years ago. Okay, so
Okay.
no, he didn't put his income. Okay, so I'm gonna have to call him and get that from him.
Yeah, because so this is the thing is if he's in debt, then he probably is, we probably have a behavioral problem to some degree. At 70 years old, he still has a mortgage as well. And it sounds like you said his monthly debt is 6,200.
Yes, so he is overpaying on his mortgage. He just purchased a home last year. So
Okay.
it's a brand new 30-year mortgage that he has. He's paying 4,500, and his usual payment is 3367.
Oh, perfect. Okay. Okay. So the problem we're going to run into is at his age is the cost of insurance. So there are a couple of options we have. Most of the time, where we're seeing the insurance underwriting guidelines shifting is they will not allow you to use a surrogate as a direct uh, son or daughter if they are over 25 years old. They will make them get the policy. And so what you get the option of is number one, a grandchild, or two, you start up a trust and then they can name anyone healthy in that as a beneficiary of the trust. Those are your two options. The problem is, unless it's a very simple trust, you are not going to be able, I mean, that's going to take you several weeks minimum to set up a trust. So we're not talking about, instant issue, something like that. But I would suggest most 70-year-olds are going to have at least a grandchild, if not a great grandchild. So I would explore that option. And the bottom line is the second thing you have to do is look at what are the overpayments. And also, what are the overpayments, and then what discretionary income does he have? Because if he has, and this is the other thing you guys got to keep in mind, if he's got $95,000 out there in retirement and in savings, guess what happens? That's going to get taxed if he dies. So, do we want to move this under a tax sheltered insurance product? And I would
Okay.
probably suggest yes. So we need to look at what is his monthly expendable income, because that could be why he's in debt as well. But if he's overpaying on his house $1,100, that's perfect. That's a lot of good money that we can use there with PUAs and so forth for participating whole life.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, good. This has been good. It's been not necessarily like way into the training on this, but this has been good. I think there's been questions you guys have that we can have answered and whatnot. What else can I answer? What else are you guys struggling with when you're talking to people and it's like I don't know what's what. Oh, I do want to update you guys on this just very quickly. We are in the process of um moving away from Quility. FYI. I hate Quility.
How is that going to affect us since we did all our training with Quility and the platform? Is that connected straight with Quility or not?
What are you talking about? Is what connected
The
to
debt-free
Quility?
platform?
No,
Okay.
no, no. That's so Agency Rocket is who you use for the software. It's Lafayette. So we have a couple of debt-free, forms and stuff like that we can reproduce, but basically what we're doing is we're going through Gallagher is the name of the company that we're going through. And so we're going to be moving NLG and all of our other stuff over to them. Quility is just awful. I mean, Misha, how long have you been sitting here waiting for some of these guys? And it is, I'm just not putting up with it anymore. I can't. I can't.
So Gallagher is like a what, like an IMO? What is
Gallagher is the second largest IMO in the world. So they are Quility buys from them.
Mhm.
So we're going directly to the source. And the nice thing is like these guys want to do business with us. They're flying Darren, myself, Becky, and Jana out to Chicago, all expenses paid next week to a
nice?
game to watch all this stuff and say, please do business with us. And all of like they are really going above and beyond. I talked to Katie, our person today. This is what we have. So Allianz, I should be contracted with them any day now. Once we get Allianz, you guys are going to get the contracts for that, and it's going to take probably 2 weeks to get those done. Allianz is number one in fixed index annuities in the world and number three in IULs. They are fantastic. They also pay out for over 6 years or 5 years or something like that on their. So there's residuals that come out as well. So we're playing with some of the bigger boys. We also have a product with Nationwide that we're going to be able to get contracted for, and it is one of the best performing IULs that exist,
With
and it is
with Nationwide.
with Nationwide. and
Nice.
it and
Yeah,
it
that's a
is
good
it is specific to us. Other places can't sell it. Only Gallagher affiliates can. So we're going to be moving moving some stuff around just because we cannot continue to contract the way we've been contracting, and I refuse to do it anymore. It's just plus I can't stand Quility. I just do not like them at all. So that's that, but I'm pretty excited about it because, we're going to have Allianz there at the convention as well. And, it's going to be, guys, this is shaping up to be a pretty darn good conference. This is our speaker lineup that we have and the carriers that we have, all of that. Like this is going to be pretty good. I just need to make sure that everyone here on this call is there with about 10 people in tow each that you have.
Another question about Gallagher. So after you guys have this meeting, how long do you think it's gonna take to do the whole transition?
Well, that's a good question. What I did is I called Katie today because, hey, MJ, go ahead, do me a favor, and we can stop recording now. There's nothing else I'm going to be